All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Kudash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. Salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women that believe and fear in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, patiently waiting for the day of our salvation, which is also the day of our redemption. Hey, I'm my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another quick lesson. And it was inspired by this 1 minute video that I came across on TikTok, and it was from the page that I found it on was called Lamb of Yahweh Shai, Yakal Lamb of Yahweh Shai 777 on Instagram, not Instagram, on TikTok. And so the Spirit just had me come across this video, and it says a lot. This particular I want to call it so-called piece of art right here. It's called the Money Ball, and it was created in 2014. And in it, it shows you the evolution of the monetary system and where they wanted to go, right? And so, without any further ado, let me play this real quick, and so you can get a little insight on it, and I'll give some background information on it. Here it is.
The mark of the slaves. Okay. It was the first reserve currency ever known to man. Talent coin from the Roman empires. Spanish silver dollars from the Spanish monarchy. Right. It's a bridge. There's still a few things missing, but for the most part, the most important: U.S. dollar and Federal Reserve. Credit card, contactless, which is very interesting because this piece was made in 2014. It existed, the technology, but we didn't use it to pay as we use it now. And then a bit of a future that it's either chipped or barcode. Mm-hmm. But then he ends with the mark of the slaves again. Because one of the things that he puts here on the shredded is that experts say that in less than 10 years, we're phasing out of paper currency. We're not having any paper anymore. Everything's going to be digital on the banks. And we're going to end up being slaves of some entity or some government or something. Yeah. It starts with...
And that's exactly what the whole plan is. This new way of buying and selling is going to make you a slave to the super elite, right? You're going to be showing your allegiance, that's your worshiping of the super elite in their system, the B system, as well as the technology within it, which is ultimately the MOTB. The MOTB is nothing more than a marketed slave. It started off, it said the monetary system began, according to this exhibit, with the marketed slave. And then it went from the marketed slave to the Roman form of currency. I believe it's the denarii, and then it skipped to the Spanish coin, and then it skipped to the Federal Reserve, and then it skipped to the U.S. dollar, and then it skipped to what? Credit cards and systems and contactless payments. Well, it said credit cards, then it went to contactless payments, right? A better view of what he was showing you is this right here, right? This is the Money Ball. And it was created by Alberto Edgare Guevara, which is, he goes by the name Cayman, right? Well, we're going to look up that. What's the definition of Cayman? Right? Cayman, right? Cayman, right? So that says Carman. So let's look up, let's see if we can find a definition, the meaning of Cayman, right? Cayman. So the Cayman definition is, well, it's a semi-aquatic reptile similar to the alligator, but with the heavy armored belly native to tropical America. And we know that these snakes, these devils, that's how they roll. That with that reptilian spirit, and they ain't talking about reptilian people walking around the earth, but they got that spirit of a reptile, right? Long story short, going back to this, it shows you, and we're gonna get you on. You gonna find something very interesting about Alberto Guevara, aka Cayman, this so-called Argentinian, right? So again, it starts off with what? The mark of the slave, right? And then it goes from, and it ends with the mark of the slave, right? So then you got the Slovakia. So you had the mark of the slave, you had the thaler coin, right, which supposedly comes out of Rome. We're going to look that up, the thaler coin, What is the Thaler coin? What is the Thaler coin? Right, the Thaler coin, or the Thaler coin was a large popular silver coin from the Holy Roman Empire in German states, originated in the 1500s. So this is when Jake was ruling, right? So keep going back, right? So you got the Thaler coin, right? And then you have the Federal Reserve one. You got the Federal Reserve stamp, right? Which we know that they're in charge of printing money here in America. And then you have this right here, the U.S. dollar legal tender. And what do you see? The so-called all-seeing eye, that pyramid, that Illuminati eye right here, right? You see that right there, right? Then it goes from that to really credit card processing industry, right? Where you get your Visa, MasterCard. And then it goes from that to contactless payment using mobile devices, right? When did payment using mobile devices become popular, right? When did they become popular? And it says, oh, that's a spirit, because this dude created this exhibit in 2014, right? So it was just becoming popular in 2014. So it says mobile payments started with early tests in the late 90s, but gained significant popularity and mainstream adoption, right? Because we know they use gradualism around 2014 with Apple Pay, followed by rapid growth fueled by user-friendly apps, increased smartphone penetration, and the pandemic push for contactless methods, with adoption exploding in the 2010s and 2020s, right? So this exhibit is showing you the gradualization of the change of currency, and let's see where it's ultimately headed to, right? So you go from contactless payments, you went from dollars to credit cards, contactless payments using your cell phone and other contactless devices, and then it's going to skip to this. Boom. Biochip body as communication condor. I can't really pronounce that. See that word. And look, it even says, it says sin right here, right? Finesse or fioness, right? What's fioness means? What does that mean? What does fioness mean? Right? Fioness. White, fair, beautiful. Or let's look at finesse. Finesse. Right? Finesse. Finesse refers to several things. A well-known swimming gear brand focus, a term used historically to mark the conclusion. Finesse. So this is the end result. The end result of the current system, of the finance system, is where it started at. Back to the mark of the slave. And you notice that it got it all together. It's not separated. Right? In the beginning, you had just the mark of the slave. Right? That was the beginning. Right? Of the currency. And then it ends with what? The biochip body as a communication. Right? And it's finesse. Right? So you got the mark of the beast either in your foreheads, right? Just like it says in the scriptures, right? And it says near future. And we're in that near future, right? You got the biochip in your forehead, and then what? Your right hand, right? This is the right hand right here. And ultimately, it's the mark of the slave. Right? Now, people will say, oh, you just putting shit together. You pulling shit out your ass. You just trying to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But wait a minute. This dude, Alberto Guevara, he's connected, right? Who is he connected to? Well, I found this. It might be the same article. Bam! Who is standing right next to this so-called artist? And this dude is well connected, right? Cayman, the Cayman, all right? This guy, his name is Cayman. Well, there has to be some nefarious purpose of that name. This is him right here. And who is he standing next to? Maria Abranovich, a known occultic witch, high-level witch. She's a known occultic witch. Everybody know that, right? So Alberto Guevara, alias K-Man, right? Alias K-Man. Let me see what this is. What does K-Man mean? K-Man is an occult world, right? K-Man. The occult world, K-Man likely refers to K-Man, also spelled Cayman or cameo, a powerful woohoo! Listen to this. Occultic K-Man likely refers to a powerful demon mentioned in grimoires like the Lesser Key of Solomon and a pseudo moniker demonium. K-Man's role, meaning rank. K-Man is a great president of hell, which you know hell don't exist. It's the grave in its condition. Commanding 30 legions of spirits. Appearance. He typically appears first as a black bird, but can change into the form of many carrying shaped sword. Sometimes he is described as a man adorned with a tuft or a peacock tail. Abilities and functions. He is known as an excellent augur, right? Which is that's what, when presidents get elected and they get brought into office, they get brought in there via inauguration, which is called which comes from ancient Rome, which comes from the term augur. You see, man, this is heavy. This is some heavy information right here. It says appearance. It says he is known as an excellent augur or a sophist, a debater. He grants men the ability to understand the voice and languages of various animals, including birds, cattle, dogs, as well as the sound of water. He provides true answers regarding future events. So this dude's a fucking demon. He names himself after a demon to do what? He gives the true answers of future events, and that's exactly what's in this that's exactly what's in this exhibit. He's given an example of what future events are coming, right? And the mark of the beast is what he's promoting, right? Let's play this real quick, see what happens. Let check this out.
For me, destruction is the necessary step for creation.
You hear that? For him, destruction is a necessary thing for creation, right? Destruction is necessary for this devil.
The materials need to be broken down and put together in a new way. The Bureau of Printing and Engraving make 4 billion bills every year. Money creates an extreme flow of energy in the world. Homeless, workers, housewives use these pieces of paper every day. They buy food, clothing, education, and the future of society. I think that destroying dollar bills get people to think what they do.
This dude's a fucking demon. Moneyball.
We are looking for our life force, our energy flow. For centuries in Tai Chi, it was called the ball of energy. Money is energy. I need to ask myself what this means to people. Are they worried? What is behind money? Happiness, dependence, sadness, life, progress.
Look, you can't. Hey, this is not a mistake. This is not a mistake. He's doing this on purpose, right? He's supposed to be in a library looking up money, and it's satanic. It's going back to the satanic images that it really pushes out, right? You got the so-called that tiny top star, right? Which the pentagram, right? Then you got the all-seeing eye, the triangle. This ain't an accident, right? And this nigga like he using an old outdated, or he using what's that? The old school internet, man. Right? To show these pictures on purpose, bro. This nigga's a demon, bro. Right? And he's tapped in. Right? Going back to this right here real quick. This dude, he's a high level demon. He's super powerful, man. He got like, he's really tapped in. It says right here, I'm gonna read a little bit of his background. Born in Caracas, Venezuela, he currently lives and works in New York and Buenos Aires, Argentina. He creates work that focuses on site-specific immersive installations and parametric sculptures that explore ancient symbolism, monetary systems, and the future of transactional platforms, which, again, that's what that demon does. He does what? What does he do? He provides true answers regarding the future events. Right? That's what he does. Right? Or the demons that's on him. That's what they do. Right? Let's keep on reading. It says, by creating a hybrid relationship between money, new media, and architecture, he holds a Master's of Arts from Georgetown University in Public Administration, a graduate diploma in management from Harvard Business School, as well as a Bachelor's of Arts in International Relations from West Point, that's a military school, and Argentinian Military Academy, where he graduated cum laude. He is a former cavalry officer in the Argentinian Army. Right? So this dude's tapped in, and look who he just so happened to be standing next to. And this is not by accident. 5 + 1 = 6. 5 + 1 = 6. Another 5 + 1 = 6, nigga. 666 all around this nigga, man. And the average person ain't gonna see it. Again, you gonna look at this video and you gonna, oh man, it's no, nigga, ain't no conspiracy theory shit. This is really happening. Right? And it ain't him. It's really was in the scriptures, right? The scriptures speak about the RFID microchip. We're going to get into it in a second. Right? So I looked this up because I heard this term years ago called the revelation of, or method of revelation. It says, here's a clear breakdown so you can see the difference between biblical revelation and occult revelation, because they are not the same thing, even though the word is reused. It says what revelation means in the occult world generally. In occult, esoteric, and mystical systems, revelation usually means hidden knowledge being unveiled. And that's what this is. This is hidden knowledge being unveiled, right? All of these different forms of currency and where they want to take it to, right? And it's not, again, it's nothing more than a mark of the slave, right? The MOTB is nothing but a mark of the slave. You're going to be a slave to the elite bankers, right? The whole world, they want that, and they want that to happen to those that survive, right? Let's keep on going. It says the occult, esoteric, or mystical systems. In occult, esoteric, or mystical systems, revelation usually means hidden knowledge being unveiled. They have to unveil the knowledge, the things they're going to do before they do it. Just like the Most High reveals the things and secret things to his servants, the prophets, through altered means, not through the Most High. Common occult revelatory methods include genosis, right? And that remind me of that piece of rock that Magneto has. It's called Genoa. It says secret inner knowledge. Knowledge is believed to come from inner illumination. Yep, and we know that's the super elite. Often achieved through meditation, trance states, visualization, and rituals. Witchcraft. Authority is self-derived, not from God. Witchcraft. Right? That's pride. I know because I experienced it. Symbols decoding. Heavy reliance on numbers. Look, heavy reliance on what? On numbers. Heavy reliance on what? Numbers. Numbers. Right? Heavy reliance on numbers. And it says systems, astrology, sacred geometry. Meaning is revealed by patterns, finding, not scripture. This often leads to confirmation bias, seeing what one wants to see. Channeling spirit communication. Witchcraft. Claim revelation through spirit guides. Remember this nigga was in a, where was he at? He was in a fucking park doing Tai Chi. This demon, he was in the park doing Tai Chi. Right? That's what he was doing. Right? Trying to get them spirits going. ascended masters, ancestors, angels, often falsely so, which they talk to demons. The Bible explicitly warns against this, Deuteronomy 18, 10, and 12. Progressive revelation outside scripture. Truth is believed to evolve, which he showed the evolution of money. No final authority. New truths can contradict old ones. This is why occult revelation is unstable and subjective. Why some people call this the method of revelation. The phrase method of revelation is often used critically, not officially, to describe how occult systems manufacture meaning, how they claim hidden truths are unveiled, how elites or secret societies justify secret knowledge. And all of this stuff that we're talking about, this the MOTB, buddy. And if you can't see it, something's wrong with you. You're on drugs. Like that nigga Tazariak said, hey, you must be high. Right? You must be high. Right? You see this shit? You can't make this up, bro. We're showing it to you right here. Esau knows what's going on. The elect of Israel know what's going on. But you Jakes, that's not a part of the elect, you don't. You can't see it. You talk about philosophy, John 3:16 being this, the mark of the beast, sleeping with white women, a philosophy. Here it is, this motherfucker showing you the chip right in somebody in a person's forehead, right here. Being attached to that barcode, which is that number. Right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 15. And verse 16. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. This is an illustration of that thing. And it's the finished portion of monetary system. In their forehead or right hand, right? And it says what? And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you ain't going to be able to buy or sell anything in a new system unless you are attached to it via this mark of the beast, right? And you got to have that number. Every chip has a number to it. And it goes back to the super elite banking family. That's what they want. Okay? So here it is. You got this guy, this demon, the Cayman, right? Standing next to another demon, Maria Abramovich, right? Pushing 666 and an MOTB. But you got cats that can't see it. Right? We look crazy because we putting this stuff together, but no, we telling you the truth. Here it is. The whole world's preparing for it. The system is getting ready to change over. Right? The last form of currency that they're trying to get rid of is that paper. That's why they got everybody used to what? Credit cards, non-contactless payments. Everywhere you go, you tapping. You barely even use cash. I can't even count how many times a day throughout my day I actually use cash. Because you got your debit cards, you got your cell phones, and other forms of contactless payments. Right? And you're going to go from this to this to this. This is a gradualization. You can just take it backwards. Right here. The first thing was the what? The mark of the slave. And then it went to this. The Greek, or the Roman, thaler coin. Right? And then it went to what? It showed the Federal Reserve System. Right? Then it shows you what? The US dollar for legal tender, seal. Right? Noro oros seclorum. Right? Then it went from what? From that, the credit cards. Right? Then it go from credit cards to what? Contactless payments. Using mobile devices. Then from there, boom, mark of the beast, MOTB, an actual chip. Right? And they call this shit the money ball. You see? And the guy that did it just so happened to be a high level warlock. Right? That's what he is. He just used a high level warlock with a high level witch. Bro, if you can't see this shit, something wrong with you, man.
This, the mark of the slaves, was the first reserve currency ever known to man. Talent coin from the Roman empires, Spanish silver dollars from the Spanish monarchy.
Right.
It's a bridge. There's still a few things missing, but for the most part, the most important: U.S. dollar and Federal Reserve, credit card, contactless, which is very interesting because this piece was made in 2014. It existed, the technology, but we didn't use it to pay as we use it now. And then a bit of the future, that it's either chipped or barcode.
Mm-hmm.
But then he ends with the mark of the slaves again.
Because that's what that is. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And we showing it to you, bro. Captain Cesario talking about something. They gonna put stuff in your forehead. You gonna let them put something in your brain, nigga? That's what they call the brain chip for. That's what neural chip is all about. Neuralink is all about. Most people may get it in their hands, right? But there are gonna be people, plenty of people that get it in their heads, right? This is the system, and it's being shown to you. They revealed it. They revealed it right here. And the Bible the Bible talked about this way before any of this shit happened. The scriptures, the word of Yahweh Bashar Shah revealed this to the elect way before it even happened. The prophets. What the fuck, bro? Look at this shit. I'm gonna make this. This is gonna be the what do you call it? The thumbnail, bro. This image right here. This is gonna be the thumbnail right here. Bro, you can't make this shit up. I wish I could call somebody right now. It's late, right? But I wish I could call somebody right now, man. Because you ain't going to believe it. They ain't going to believe this shit, bro. Nobody, that's what they're like, I ain't going to believe it. But the elect's going to believe it, man. So I just wanted to bring this out real quick, man. Yeah, man. Shit is real. And we there. And ultimately, this is the mark of the slave. Because that's what they want you to be, a permanent slave. They want to put you in the digital slavery. Right? What the Aaron Russo tell Alex Jones. It says the ultimate goal of the banking elite is to fit everybody with a chip. And that all money would be on that chip. And that they can take out what they want. And if you don't agree with the system, they'll just turn it off. And you have nothing. And what Alex Jones said, total control. Total control, which Mr. Cayman just so happened to be into. Right? I had read that. I had read it somewhere in here. I had read it right. Hold on, just give me a quick. Right here. It says he has been awarded numerous honors, awards, and residencies, and has served as a guest lecturer. He is a frequent guest commentator on global media outlets like CNN, Univision, Voice of America, Al Jazeera, Telemundo, and is noted for his defense of human rights and democracy in Latin America. He is currently the director of a biotech firm called what? Control Micro, which has developed biopolymers for applications for water purification and sterilization of critical public environments at the fraction of the cost of other existing alternatives. Right? So yeah, this dude, he and this is all insider stuff, right? Control Micro, right? It's all, and this dude, bro, when I saw this image, I was like, what the fuck? And the first thing I saw was Abramovich. I was like, yeah, this dude's tapped in. He's tapped in. And the average person don't know. But this is real. The chip is real. The MOTB. So this is the final. It's the final. This is the final. What I want to say, incarnation of money. Right. It started with the mark of the slave, and it's going to end with the mark of the slave. Right. It's going to end with that, and it's crazy because what is the symbol for a dollar? Is this right here? The S with the L going through it. I mean, with the line going through it. And the whole time we was growing up, we thought that symbolizes money, not realizing that symbolizes slavery. And what you are a slave in this system. You're a wage slave in this system right now. And eventually you're going to be a digital slave. Right? It all goes back to it. Right? The symbol for money. Symbol for money. Right? Is this right here, the mark of the slave. The symbol for money is a dollar sign. However, the currency or currency sign or clause is specific. So where did the dollar sign come from? Right? The dollar sign most likely evolved from an abbreviation from the Spanish peso of the common currency in Americas, from combining the letters S and P for peso into a single stroke, eventually simplifying it into a familiar S with a vertical line through it. Though other theories like the depiction of the Pillars of Hercules also exist, with merchant Oliver Pollock often credited for popularizing its use. American commerce. But we already seen it. It really goes back to the mark of the slave, right? We over here spending slave coupons and shit, and ultimately the new instrument for slavery, for slavery too. The new instrument for the monetary system is going to be the RFID microchip, right? Which is ultimately what? The mark of the slave. So I ended off with this video again, so you see it again. I'm not making this up.
Is the mark of the slaves. Okay. It was the first reserve currency ever known to man. Talent coin from the Roman empires. Spanish silver dollars from the Spanish monarchy. Right. It's a bridge. There's still a few things missing, but for the most part, the most important: U.S. dollar and Federal Reserve. Credit card, contactless, which is very interesting because this piece was made in 2014. It existed, the technology, but we didn't use it to pay as we use it now. And then a bit of a future that it's either chipped or barcode. Mm-hmm. But then he ends with the mark of the slaves again. Because one of the things that he puts here on the shredded is that experts say that in less than 10 years, we're phasing out of paper currency. We're not having any paper anymore. Everything's going to be digital.
Everything is going digital. Everything, the whole system.
On the banks. And we're going to end up being slaves of some entity or some government.
And the entity is the super elite, the banking families. Right? The banking families. Matter of fact, since I did it, YouTube, Aaron, Aaron, right? And what did he say?
You hear George Bush saying democracy means freedom. No, democracy equals New World Order. Democracy equals slavery. Be individuals. Think for yourself.
Yeah, democracy, it means slavery. You're nothing but a slave.
And one of the things that we used to talk about was the ultimate plan of the banking industry, what they wanted to accomplish. The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. He's the one who told me 11 months.
Yeah, it is. So if you don't believe it now, then something's wrong with you. Or you just got paid off. Right? Either way, it's coming. Hey, so that would say shalom, on to the next.